Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Move Forward Anyway podcast, featuring dream accelerating inspiration. I'm Jeff Meyer, your host, author, entrepreneur, and coach. My goal with this podcast is to help you identify and clarify your own dream by taking wisdom from others' successes and challenges. If you're looking to take action on your dream, to make a difference doing something you love, but your fears are holding you back, then this podcast is for you. If you're interested in finding additional support, you can also check out my Dream Accelerator coaching program designed to help realize your full potential and reshape your future. As always, you can learn more about my Dream Accelerator program at jeffmeyer.org. Using my Dream Accelerating formula, heart-centered entrepreneurs can focus on their dream, name their fears, change their mindset, define their next, and move forward anyway. Well, welcome back, fellow successful dreamers. It's good to be with you again in another episode of the Move Forward Anyway podcast. Today, I'm really excited to meet someone for the first time and have a conversation with him. Stephen Barnes from Tennessee joins us today. Stephen, thank you so much for being with us today. Why don't you take a moment and just introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yeah, well, my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. I'm always happy to share the journey God has brought me on. And I am Stephen Barnes. I own a hair salon in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been a hairdresser for, I think, 42 years at this point. I have loved it since the beginning. There have been challenges, but most of the time it's been an absolute blast. And God has put me on a path that has just been made all my dreams have come true, really. So I am so thankful to be able to share this today. So let's get going.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I understand my executive assistant actually gets her hair done. She's had her hair done there at your salon by your wife, I understand, for many, many years, like 30 years or something.
Yes, a long time.
So you and your wife are in this together.
That's correct. Yes.
That's exciting. And a lot of our listeners have pursue their dream together as families and as husband and wife. And so that's really exciting.
It is exciting. We enjoy going to work together every day. Even if our schedule don't allow us to ride together, I'm kind of disappointed because generally we'll use that time to pray and over the day, over our clients, over our work. And it's a great way to start the day in the car, just getting ready for the day with the Lord. So, but all the time that doesn't always work out. That doesn't mean we don't pray individually. But it's great when we can do it together. That's
awesome. So, 42 years you've been doing this. How long have you owned your own salon? All 42 years?
25 years. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you were a hairdresser 42 years ago. That's the profession you went into. And then somewhere along the line, there was a spark to own your own thing, right? Do your own thing. Tell me about that.
It all came about kind of organically. I had been a hairdresser for 10 years when I met Debbie. And I began working for myself a couple of years after after getting married to Debbie. And I was just I went from working for another salon owner on a commission basis to renting a chair in someone else's salon. So I then became a self-employed independent contractor. And that was the beginning of me being self-employed. Not long after that, my wife, I told her, I said, she was working in the banking industry. And I told her if we were going to ever be able to see each other, that it would be great if she could come to work with me. And she was a little bit tired of the corporate environment. Doing hair wasn't really ever on her radar.
Yeah.
But I encouraged her, kind of talked her into it. At some point, felt like she would kind of came kicking and screaming after she got her license and was working there. It was difficult, and there was a learning curve for us to work together. And I think everything's a teaching moment, and that's not always great when you work with your spouse.
Yeah.
So
especially
anyway,
when you're the boss, right?
Anyway, as really like when Debbie got out of school, we actually bought the salon that I was working in. The owner there decided that he didn't want to be a salon owner anymore, and we bought the salon almost immediately as she graduated. So I have said in the past to people, Debbie has never worked for anyone else. And they go, wait a minute, you don't think she works for you, do you? And I go, oh, no, that's not what I meant. She just has not ever worked for anyone else other than herself. So I always say she's the first. The name of our salon is Barnes and Barnes, and I always say she's the first Barnes on the door.
That's awesome, Barnes and Barnes, and Debbie's the first Barnes on the door. That's awesome.
I give her top billing,
as it should be, right?
Correct.
Oh, great. So that had to be a big deal in that moment to have that salon offered. It was up for sale and you jumped on it. Any reservations, any hesitancy at all? Did you have any fears as you were thinking about launching into your new ownership of the salon?
I really didn't have any fear. I had built a really good business, my own clientele, and I had a few people working in the salon with me at the time, and of course Debbie. And I didn't really have any reservations. I've always had great confidence in my ability to build a clientele and to bring people along with me. We didn't have any. I really didn't have any hesitancy or anything like that. No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, that's awesome. Well, good. So tell me about some of the unique challenges of working together with Debbie.
Well, we are such different people. Now, can you believe that? I never knew that there was people that were so different from myself, really.
Right.
You know, I'm kind of a sanguine guy. I've never met a stranger. I'm kind of an open book with my life. And Debbie's very private. So that was a challenge, just getting to be able just to work with her in a way that she was comfortable. Because when I was training in a salon, I was very comfortable standing behind people, asking questions, letting them train me as I'm doing a haircut. And Debbie isn't like that at all. She really doesn't want you getting in her space or even watching her when she's cutting hair. So just learning how to come in and out like that, because we are so different in personality, and learning to work with her and live with her also in wisdom, as the word instructs us to do with our spouses. So that was a long road, really, because first you do it in marriage. Debbie had 2 children when I married her, so I adopted those children. So just coming, and her children are very much like her, very sensitive, and I just never have been, was never around people like that. I didn't realize there were people like that. So just that whole dynamic of being a parent and a husband in a household that was completely different than anything I'd ever been involved with. And I think it was about 5 years really after our marriage when we went to work. And then I thought, okay, if I can get her to work with me, she'll see how I am every day. She'll know that I'm not treating anybody else any different than her, but she's still is who she is, who God created her to be. So we had to learn a whole different set of ways and guidelines and protocol to be able to teach and to train and react in the salon how I always had previously, because I've always been like, all the world's a stage, and I kind of like to have fun and try to be entertainer, not only give you a haircut, but have fun and entertain all the people in the salon. And Debbie's just not like that. She's more professional, more subdued, more private, so it was that whole thing had its moments for sure.
Yeah. And she's been able to continue to be herself and be true to herself, I'm assuming, and work in your salon. Still to
this day. And she's made us better. She's made me better. There's a line you shouldn't cross when you're acting up. And she still always reminds me.
So you've been leading this, growing this business. You've been not only doing that with Debbie and training and equipping, but all kinds of employees, I'm sure, that are part of your stylists who are part of your salon. Share with us a little bit about some of the biggest challenges that you've faced over the years. It's gone really well for you, it sounds like.
It has.
But certainly there have been some challenges along the way as you're growing a business. For our listeners who may be in that place where they're trying to scale up their business or expand it or grow it, there's challenges with that. Speak to some of your challenges.
Well, there is challenge. Staff is always the biggest challenge when trying to grow a business. I think any business person would tell you that. So I think you have to work as hard at marketing your salon and yourself and your skills and what you have to offer new people or young people or just whoever you're trying to get to come and join you. And you have to kind of work at it like a job. You have to, I always told everybody, if you're not in the salon behind the chair, you should be working at growing your business. And it's a sales job. You kind of have to sell yourself and what you're doing. So as you get people, then you just have to, honestly, you go through some that just don't work out, right?
Sure.
So that's the main thing, to always just be thinking of ways to market your business, market yourself, market what you have to offer, and put it on your calendar. Do little events where if it's go to, like I would go to schools, or I would go to different things, self-improvement courses at a university or the high schools, cosmetology departments, and just put things on a calendar and then make it happen. Join the community in things, different types of events to get your name out there, keep your name out there. And again, just kind of sell what you're doing. If you can't just, I always told everyone, you can't stand in the salon, and if you're not busy that day, you can't not go out and do anything to create business and expect to come in and be busy the next day. You have to go out. You got to go out and do something. You can't just, as faithful as faithful as God is, you have to put it to work. You have to put a plan to work, and then expect God to meet you with your efforts. He's just not going to drop them in the door for you. So sometimes he does. Sometimes he does. That's rare.
Yeah, we work with him, right? And he allows us to participate in that. And
that's right.
So it's very interesting. So I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, working in a salon, there's the working in the business, which would be to be with the client, to give them what their dream is, with what they want to have happen with their hair.
Yes.
And that's working in the business, but there's also so it's all the details of working in the business, doing the business, but you also have to carve out blocks of time to work on the business.
That's correct.
Right? To
Yes.
sell, to market,
Yes.
To improve training,
Yes.
to provide the resources for your stylists as they need it, right?
Yes.
And so if someone's listening to this and they're grinding, working in the business, doing the thing that they love to do, but they want to see it grow, your encouragement to them is also to have time carved out to work on the business.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And you can't really grow otherwise. You can only do so much behind the chair. So if you want to build a certain culture and a certain amount of staff and a certain, by staff, then the clients, you're able to do more coming through the door. You have to have a business mindset toward building your staff, your education, and then marketing your business as well. You have to.
Yeah.
Location is good, but it's not a silver bullet.
Right. Clients don't just fall into Barnes and Barnes.
That's correct.
They are wooed.
That's correct.
Right. It's a relational connection with the community that needs to happen with whatever our dream is. Right. Like, yes. So I wrote a book and I'm about ready to publish my second book. Well, it's one thing to write the book and be in the grind of getting it ready and producing it and putting it out there. Then there's the ongoing marketing of it and communicating of it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So give us a couple principles or secrets of marketing or working on the business that you would recommend to a young business owner that's trying to grow their business. Or even an old business owner that's trying to grow their business.
Well, I'm going to have to address the old business owner because the new forms of marketing, social media, all that, I never did. I never had to do. Direct marketing was always my go-to thing. I would go out and I would shake hands and I would introduce people. I would introduce myself. I would put a piece of marketing material in their hands and talk to them and try to woo them into my salon, to use your words. And I went to downtown Knoxville when I moved back here in '88, so that I could have access to a lot of people, because there are so many people who work in a downtown area, and you can get in all those tall buildings, multi-storied buildings. And so I went in every building, on every floor, in every suite, in every floor for a good year and a half, and also did mail outs to a lot of different companies in the area, particularly ones that were close to the downtown, like TVA. Whittle Communications was there at that time. Alco Aluminum was close. University of Tennessee. Did a lot of stuff, just stuffing mailboxes, putting flyers on cars, and of course, shaking hands. So just direct marketing techniques and just continuing. Anytime I wasn't busy at the salon, I was beating the pavement, and that's how I did it.
Wow. So there is still a place for that today.
I still think it's the best. I still think it is the best, because when you shake hands with somebody and look them in the eye and make them an offer, and honestly, Jeff, I made some offers that really people couldn't refuse. I would start out with a 50% off coupon for a half price haircut, and if that didn't work out, and I'm just going to be honest with you, if it was an attractive receptionist at a law firm and I couldn't get them to come in, and you always want, honestly, I'm sorry, but you always want attractive people for your clients, because those people honestly get the most attention. There is something about young, attractive people that is very inviting, and everybody wants to look like them. It's the same with Hollywood stars, but I would go back and I would say to that person, hey, look, I'll give you a free haircut. Just come. Just come. I'll give you a free haircut. And if that didn't work, I would go back the third time and I'll say, look, if you'll come, if you don't like it, I'll pay you the price of the haircut. There's a chain in our town called Ross the Boss, and he had a little ditty that says, I'm Ross the Boss and I guarantee it. And at the very end, I would just go, hey, look, I'm not Ross the Boss, but if you don't like my haircut, I'll guarantee you that I'll pay you if you don't like it. And I just continued to do that, and until I got enough people that, like I said, I had been a hairdresser for 10 years already, so I had a good skill set developed. I had some great opportunities for really good education. I was a part of an educational team for a major manufacturer in the 80s, and there were 220 of us, I think, worldwide. And I was a part of that educational team. Very selective way to get into that, and I rubbed shoulders with people who became icons in our industry, and got to go around and do multi-manufacturer trade shows, in-salon workshops. And I've always said, when you learn something well enough to teach it, it's a completely different level. If you can articulate in a way that make people to understand what you're doing and give them confidence in what you're doing, and you give them a great experience, they'll come back. So, once I got people in my chair, then it just went from there. It just went from there, and they would word of mouth advertising from that point.
Yeah,
forward.
they became your brand, right? As they're out in the world.
Yes, absolutely.
People looked at them and said, wow, I love your hair. Where do you get your hair done?
That's right. That's right. And, for me, it was, I always wanted to learn my craft in a way that I felt like I could go anywhere in the world, in any city, in any salon, and compete and build my business. So for me, learning my craft was such an important thing that I tell new hairdressers, if you want to do this and you want to be successful, you got to eat, sleep, live, breathe hair for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. And honestly, Jeff, that's another big hurdle right there. Yeah. You don't find very many people who actually really want to do that. I would work in the salon 5 days a week, and then I would travel the other 2 days a week. Now, I wasn't married back then, and it wasn't always conducive to my mental health and anything or any other kind of health. But it was an opportunity that God gave me that He allowed me to do, that really put me in a good place to be able to finish my career with it. So wow. I'm very thankful. Yeah.
Not everybody's willing to put the work in. It's absolutely true.
Yes. Today, young people, I have it seems completely different than when I was a young hairdresser. Yeah. I was always taught that you find somebody who's successful in what you do, and you just do what they did. And I have always had a great desire to share the knowledge that I know, to give people a foundation. It's just like we have to have a real strong foundation in what we do. Yeah. And if we never learn that foundation, you can never build on it. I mean, if you don't, it's just like the word, you got to build your life on the rock.
It's discipleship, right? I mean, hairdressing discipleship. I mean, you business owner discipleship. I love that principle. Find someone that is doing it well and do what they do. Amen. Learn from them. Ask them how they do it. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking you're in this space, surround yourself with people who are a little bit ahead of you and learn from them. Ask them how they do it.
Yes, and then implement it.
And then go do it. Yeah,
then go do it. You can go to all the classes and education you want, but if you don't put that work, if you don't put that knowledge to use, if you don't go back in the salon and start putting it to use, it won't do you any good. It'll leave your mind. But yes. you have to go implement it.
That's the only way it sticks.
That's the only way it sticks. And today's young people, I'm sorry, excuse me, but they just think, or what I've have experienced was, well, it doesn't have to be done your way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, you're probably right, but I'm the only one standing here trying to tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
So try it. Do it. So
So there's a certain amount of humility, right? When you're beginning a business, a humility to say, I can learn from someone else. I need to learn from someone else.
I think that there are probably seasons in everyone's life when humility is the only thing that is going to take them to their next step.
Wow.
To humble themselves and do something that they feel like maybe be beneath them, and you can grow from that. You can't grow. I always say, when you're green, you grow, and when you're ripe, you rot. So you can't think that you know everything. You have to always have the attitude that you want to learn. You want to be a lifetime learner. It's because even though I say eat, sleep, live, breathe hair for 5 years, it doesn't finish then. I'm still educating myself. I'm still trying to get better. I'm still working on.
So what have you learned? What have you learned in the last year?
I think today's people, they're looking for more than just a haircut. Everybody wants an experience. So it's everybody wants to feel comfortable. We live in this world. Honestly, we've been isolated and everything else, but people want to be in a friendly environment, and they want to know your name. They want you to know their name and greet them and smile at them. And really, the service should start when the client walks through the door, not when they're sitting in the chair. And also, we should be courteous to one another and learn one another. We're in such a divisive time in our in history, and people are so divided on, should you wear a mask, should you not wear a mask? And honestly, I feel like virus has been politicized, and I have clients of all different races, religions, political leanings, and I love them all. Yeah. And I appreciate them all. I feel like God brought them all to me. Wow. And I want to respect and love them just like the brother and sister that I think they are. Hopefully we're all going to heaven. If you're sitting in my chair, I'm going to point you in that direction. And I don't care who you are or what you believe, or I'm just going to love you and love on you. So I think that's the biggest thing this past year that I've learned: be courteous and love everybody. And we're all in this together, and try not to be, draw your line in the sand.
It's more than a transaction. You don't just come in to get your hair done. You come in to have an experience of friendship, an experience of love, as someone takes care of a basic human need, and does it in an exceptional way, and lets them experience transformation, not just transaction. So
Amen.
I love that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I love that. That is so great. So some of the listeners might be thinking, okay, well, a hair salon, so what is the problem? A lot of times with the dream pursuit, entrepreneurial ventures, someone's solving a problem in the world with their business. What is the problem that Barnes and Barnes Salon is solving?
Well, I'm going to start with our business model. It was never to make a ton of money. That's a little different than most business owners or entrepreneurs. When I became self-employed, I told you about renting a chair in that first salon. When I immediately saw my income double for working for myself. hairdressers, it's a very hard job. You stand on your feet in the beginning 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. And you work with your body. Mm-hmm. And it is extremely difficult. I'm going to almost say very few people ever do make the type of money that they need to make to raise a family and have the quality of life working for someone else. So when Debbie and I bought the salon, we wanted to give other hairdressers the opportunity to make the same amount of money as us. Because hairdressers, honestly, when they are working for someone else, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing at certain times, it's a good thing to go get trained and learn what you're doing, to learn what you're doing. So I'm not throwing rocks at salon owners here who have commission-based salons who are making a lot of money, and I'm happy for them as they do. But I just wanted to give people the opportunity to make the same amount of money as me. So that is one thing that a problem that we were solving for other hairdressers. And because in other salons, as I had worked for the first half of my life, everybody's, nobody's really happy because they're not making enough money. And there's protocols in there who gets the new clients and all that. So I tried to teach people how to be successful business people and make as much money as me. So that was the first thing that we tried to solve. Also in our industry, in a lot of salons, it feels like what was Henry Ford? An assembly line.
Assembly line. Yeah.
It feels like an assembly line. You go to this person to get your hair shampooed. You go to this person to get your hair colored. Everything's specialized. Well, honestly, salon owners do that to control the clientele, first of all, because if somebody leaves, there's a lot of turnover in big salons like that. So I wanted to teach people, yes, you can be good at everything. And if you dictate to yourself, you can only do one thing. You're somewhat handicapping yourself if you don't stay in that type of environment. So I wanted to let people know that they can do everything, they can do it well, and they can learn to be successful at what they do, as opposed to just putting money in somebody else's pocket all the time. They can put money in their pocket. The second thing is the environment. Not only did it feel like an assembly line, but a lot of times it's high-end salons can feel somewhat stuffy, kind of condescending. They're, don't tell me what to do. I'm the hairdresser here. Why are you coming to pay me money, but you want to tell me what to do? But so we just wanted to create a family environment. And quite honestly, Jeff, hair salons can be in some places a little hedonistic as well. And just the people look ways that make people feel uncomfortable. And I just wanted to have control over who I hired, what the conversation was. And so I'm trying to solve I just wanted to have a family-friendly environment and place where everybody knows your name and you feel comfortable and warm, and you want it, and like they want you, like they want you there, instead of just, like you're lucky to be able to walk through the door, which that's kind of how it is in some places I've been.
I love it. So you're not just making money, you're not just cutting hair, or beautifying people's presence, but you're also providing a great work environment for hairdressers and stylists. You're providing an upward opportunity for people to actually own their own business within the Barnes and Barnes family. You're providing an atmosphere of trust and care. I just think that's such a gift. That's such a beautiful thing to offer to the world. Providing people employment that is meaningful and gives them a chance to take care of their family too. That's that's a really important thing to remember as you guys are pursuing your dreams. Is we're not just making money, right? We're making the world a better place. So
That's right. That's right.
Wonderful. I want to give you an opportunity right now for the listener who is sitting here, maybe dreaming about their own salon, but maybe they're dreaming about something entirely different, like writing a book or starting a retreat center or wanting to be an educator, or whatever their dream is that they want to pursue, but they're really hesitant. They're afraid to go all in and to pursue it. What word would you like to say to them in closing today?
Always have a zeal and a focus about what you do. You know, it's when you're excited and passionate about what you do, other people see it. And just don't let the naysayers or the rejections that you may experience discourage you. But stay focused with like a laser. I mean, you just have to stay focused, just like a laser, and have zeal and passion, and just know that it's going to be work. And it may not be extremely profitable in the beginning, but if you work at it like that and keep your faith in God and keep Him involved in it and expect Him to work with you, how can you not go through your day or your day planner and your week not being excited with the creator of the universe on your side? Yeah. And just so you just and expect Him to work. That's all He wants. He wants to be part of our life and to live through us. And of course, if He lives in you, how can that not come out as a beautiful, loving, infectious, inviting thing for other people to want to come along beside you?
That is so great. I love it. And I would just piggyback on that and just say, don't settle.
No.
Just don't settle. Some of you are listening to this. You've been thinking about your dream for a long time. The problem is you've been thinking about it. Take action on it. Right. Give yourself the permission to pursue what you're passionate about. Give yourself the permission to really love what you do. Don't settle for someone else's passion just to make money or to make a living. No. I love that, Stephen. That's a great final word. And I really, really appreciate it. How can people, if they're in the Knoxville area, or maybe they're salon owners themselves, but are looking for someone to help them grow their business, and maybe they want to even ask you to come and train them or help them improve, how do they get a hold of you?
Sure. I'll give you my phone number.
Awesome.
865-680-7838. My address is 4407 Alder, Alder, Tree. That's 2 words, Lane, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37938. Or you can go online. We're at salonbarnesandbarnes.com. You can reach me that way. However you want to. I'm always more than happy to talk to other professionals. I don't care what industries it's in, preferably mine, but I'm just happy to share everything that I've learned along the way, and God has blessed me with having. So I would love to be able to help anybody in any way that I can.
Stephen, that is so gracious of you and generous. I really appreciate it. I am so thankful that you took the time. I'm grateful that Katie, my assistant, introduced us. And one day, maybe down the road, I can sit in one of your chairs.
Hey, that'd be great.
That would be tremendous.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be.
Come to Knoxville. Everybody else is coming. You might as well come too.
That's right. Yeah. And give our love to Debbie and thank her for the time that you've entrusted to us. And I am so grateful for the time today. I feel like I've met a brother. So I think my feeling I had in this conversation is the feeling that you want to give to every person that comes into your salon. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Smile.
Have an awesome day.
Yeah. Thank you. You too.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, fellow dreamer. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Head over to my website, jeffmeyer.org, for all of the show notes and links. And when you're ready to move from overthinking about your dream to actually taking action on it, consider joining the Dream Accelerator community. Our clients are getting crystal clear on their dream with our Dream Generator Vivid Description 5-step process. They're discovering the truth about fear and how to use it as fuel to take courageous steps in the right direction. And most importantly, they are walking a clear path forward because they have made an investment in themselves to confidently realize their dreams. The results are so inspiring. Having coaching and companions on the dream journey is crucial. Remember, fear will come, fear will stay. Move forward anyway.